This is IAM Hands On. If you want to follow along with me, you need to have AWS account registered. If you don't have your account registered, please go ahead and register account and then log in. Once you log in, you will be redirected to the home page of AWS Console. One good thing about AWS Console is it's very clean and very simple navigation. It is easy to access. For example, if you want to find a particular service, go to services and all the services are logically grouped together. For example, under compute, we have EC2, Lambda, Elastic Beanstalk. Under security, identity and compliance, we have IAM Cognito. So if you want any service, just go to services and you should be able to get it. And one more important thing to notice from this console is the region. Currently, I have selected US East as my default region. You can select any of this region, but you need to understand that certain AWS services are region specific and certain services are global. For example, IAM is global. So now if you see this, my default location selected as US East, right? So let's go to services. Under security, identity and compliance, click on IAM. You just notice here it has changed to global and all the regions are disabled. So IAM is global. So when it comes to exam point of view, you may get a question related to IAM on whether it is a regional specific service or global. So definitely worth remembering this concept. This is IAM Dashboard. First thing we notice here is the IAM user sign-in link. This is unique for this particular AWS root account. And this can be customized. However, the condition is it has to be unique across AWS services. For example, if I give AWS, it's not allowed. Account alias already exists. Suppose if I give Clouds.Training, it is available, so it has created that link. So from now onwards, I should be able to access AWS resources using this link. Below this section, we have IAM resources, how many users created, roles created, etc. And here we can see that there are some warnings. Let's see one by one. The first warning is activate MFA on your root account. So MFA is nothing but multi-factor authentication. So it is added layer of protection. So to do that, click on manage MFA. There are two types. You can use either virtual or hardware device, which will generate the token number. Click on next. And it says that you need to install that particular MFA software in your phone prior to doing this. Click on this. Here, when you follow along this link, we can find that there are different type of MFA device options, prices, and a virtual device is free. And there are virtual MFA applications for Android, iPhone, and Windows phones. Once you install, simply scan this barcode and enter the codes, and you should be able to activate your MFA. Now create individual users. Let's go on create users. Click on add user. Here let's give the name of the user as Divi. So you can notice that we can create multiple users at one shot. Maybe I can add so many users here. And there are two types of access. One is programmatic access and another one is console access, which we are doing right now. So this is password based and this is program. Through a program you can access using access key ID and secret access key. This is for example you have an application is which is having a requirement to access certain AWS resources. You can give only programmatic access. Let's create custom password. User must create new password. Let's uncheck this. Now in this screen we have an option to add user to a particular group, but we don't have any groups yet. So let's create a group and I'm calling this as admin group because this user is going to have a full uh, access to all the AWS resources. So I want to call it as admin group. And here we can see that there are a lot of policies which are predefined and provided by AWS itself. These policies are suitable for most of the cases, but in case if you have a requirement which is not fulfilled by these policies, you can create a custom policy. So for this admin group, let's choose administrator access. Let's open this, and here we can see that it provides full access to AWS services and resources. Let's select this, create the group, and this group name is admin. It is added and created to the user creation steps. Click on next. Now we can review this. The name of the user is Divi and it is added to the group called admin. Create user. Now you can see that it has displayed access key ID and a hidden secret access key for this user. This is displayed because we have selected programmatic access. Now to see this uh, secret access key, click on show and you can copy it, secure it somewhere, and notice one more thing. So the URL that it has given is Clouds.Training. Remember we have created this alias in our first step. Now we have already user. Let's go to dashboard and see these two are no longer warnings. Next we have IAM Password Policy. Click on Manage Password Policy and select the options minimum password length, enable password expiration and all. Whatever the options are suitable for you, you can select them and apply this policy. Except this one warning, everything else is green. I haven't activated this on purpose because every time I log in, I have to enter the passcode. So because for this training purpose I have to log in log out many times, so to save some time I haven't activated this, but in reality in production systems you must activate MFA on your root account, so it is definitely an an added layer of protection to your account. Let us understand the policies. Remember when we have created a user called Divi, we have added a policy administrator access. If I remove this policy, this user will no longer be able to access any of the AWS resources. Now let us examine the policy that we have added for this user. Let's expand this and we can see that it provides full access to AWS services and resources by using the JSON template. So in this template, it has effect allow, action star and resources star. That means it is allowing all the resources and all the actions. Now this is a predefined policy. If we see here, this is AWS managed policy. And we can also create our own policy, which is called customer managed policy. How we are going to create? Click on create policy. And this is a easy user interface to create our custom policy. You don't have to be an expert in creating JSON templates. So using this visual editor, we can choose different type of services, actions, and it will automatically generate the JSON code for you. Let us choose a service. For this, maybe select S3 and let's give read access to it. So in this we have 31 different type of get actions. So maybe just give get bucket website. I'll just select one and for this let us allow all the resources and review policy. Enter the name of the policy. So let's give it a name and description and then create policy. Our custom policy is created. In AWS, these are called customer managed policies. And we have administrator access. This is AWS managed policy. And this policy is available for all the customers of AWS. However, when you look at our custom policy, this is specific to the account that is created it, and it will not be visible and shared by any other accounts. So this is specific to the account that is created it. If you click on filter policies, you can see one customer managed policy and we have 399 AWS managed policies by the time of this recording. So let's open this policy that we have created. Even though AWS Console can help us to generate this JSON template, it is important to understand the required elements of this template. Let us examine this JSON template. Here we have version and statement. So this is very common to all the templates, but when it comes to this section, SID is generated because it is generated through visual editor. So visual editor 0. And we have something called effect, action and resources sections. Say for example, if I delete this resources and review policy, it will straight away throw me an error saying that it is required. Okay, since it is a developer associate exam, you may get a question on this JSON template. Ideally, you will be given a template with some missing sections. In our case, we have a resource section is missing in our example here. So now, to confuse you, they will give resources, something like that, similar words to trick you. So you must remember the exact terms effect, action, and resource to give the right answer. This is very simple, but sometimes we get confused with the words and terminologies. Also, in the exams, they try to trick you with the words, similar terms. So just be aware that you must remember these uh, terms. So I'm deleting this SID, which is actually generated by Visual Editor. So now, to remember this JSON template, I have a very simple technique. If you notice, it starts with the letter E, action starts with A and R. EAR. EAR, ear. Yes, you heard it right. I remember ear in between ears. So these curly braces, they look like when I see them, I remember ears. And in between ears, there is an ear. So effect, action, and resources. Resource. In this way, you will never forget these required steps in JSON template. When I review policy, save, it is going to be saved. Excellent. We have almost covered the topics required for the certification exam, and we have seen how we can create users, roles, policies. We have created custom policies, and we have attached AWS managed policy to the newly created user. And also, we have actually examined the JSON template, and we have created a JSON template and learned the technique of remembering the required parameters of JSON templates using a silly word year. Um, and There is something called identity providers. You just need to remember that it supports SAML and OpenID protocol, OpenID Connect protocol with identity providers. And we have covered account settings. And there is one thing which is encryption keys. This is actually a separate topic and it will be covered in KMS section. That's the end of IAM hands-on. If you have time, let's move on to the next lecture.